At our recent workshop in Diepsloot and in Alexander, Joe concluded with an important question about how do we always relate heritage to the modern day. So this had us pose the question, how do we work with heritage practices for learners to engage modern day sustainability challenges? And drawing on the work that's been done in the Environmental Learning Research Center and by Chikamori in Japan, taking a handprint approach to transformative learning pathways to more just and sustainable futures, we look at the present and the contradictions in the present in our ESD work. And we look towards the future. But it's difficult to get there without taking into account the past and the heritage practices, life experience, and ethical dispositions that are foundations for learning. And here Chikamori informs us that we need to really understand how the past has produced present conditions and practices as matters of concern. And this takes us into learner-led interventions in a handprint approach, where we look at emerging contradictions, concerns and challenges, and the heritage practices and life experiences that students bring to learning. And this sets up a double stimulation process to resolve contradictions in deliberative learning as knowledge ascends from the abstract to the concrete, as the students start off on learning pathways of ethics-led volitional action. Now, here, Gina Hlophe points out that this can simply be approached as a process of touching the past with our memories to feel the future flying on the wings of our imagination. But it's really important in the LEAP schools to look at how emotions, the social, emotional, and the cognitive, fit together. So in our handprint actions, we are able to activate cognizant dispositions and volitional agency within the ethics-led learning progressions that we start working with in our lesson planning. And of course, cognitive is the cognizant dispositions, and social emotional is the volitional agency. And if we take the heritage practices, life experiences, and ethical dispositions here into a learning progression, then what we're able to explore is, how were things in the past? How are things today? What does this mean to us today? And how can we make things better together? And here, drawing on Nell Nodding's work, it affirms how empathy as an ethic of care is both cognitive, in other words, involves knowledge, and emotional, involves feelings within ethics-led teaching and learning progressions. So if we model this as drawing on Nell Nodding's with startup story sharing into knowledge-mediated learning transactions in our subject teaching, what we find is that this develops around quadrants 1 to 3. And dialogue, the really important point about bringing the students in deliberative learning to find out more and to work together. Then we have this beginnings in quadrants 2 to quadrant 4, into practices of finding out, working out, and trying out things together, so that we get confirmation or affirmation around ethical agency. And in this way, what we have is we have an open framework where the heritage is engaging the modern concerns to produce more sustainable, more just and sustainable futures together. And this became the important focus in our handprint care work that we explored in the work in Diepsloot LEAP schools and in the Alexander LEAP schools together. And we hope to continue this work with you into the future.